All right, let's do it. Okay, go ahead, William.
Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo Fundamental Teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million eons is difficult to encounter. Now that I have come to receive and hold it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual meaning.
Okay, thank you. So we are learning about the radiant, expansive Buddha Flower Dormant Sutra. In Vietnamese, we call the Kinh Hoa Nghiêm. So you're familiar with this?
Yes, I am. I'm familiar with it. I remember it's a long, long, long sutra.
Yeah, this is not the longest one. This is still there are two other sutra is very long. This is but this is the first one that the Buddha teach. Okay, after he enlightened, he teach this. He taught this for 21 days after he enlightened, and this is the very first sutra. Okay, we continue on where we left off.
One question, Thay. So are you saying this is the first sutra he taught after his enlightenment to the first 5 disciples?
No. This is the first sutra he taught after his enlightenment to his audience is the great Bodhisattva. Not the first 5 disciples. Not yet. After this, yes, he will teach to the next one is the first 5 disciples. The first 5 disciples we call the Dhamma wheel turning, right? It's for the Theravada teaching. Does it make sense?
So this one he taught to just the general bodhisattvas?
Yeah, this is only for the bodhisattva state, not for the human, not for God, not for the arhat, because they cannot be able to understand it and cannot be able to hear it. Even though they are in the forest that where the Buddha do the teaching, or the magical it's he perform and the bodhisattva perform, they did not be able to see it because they state of the mind. Does it make sense?
Yes, it is. It does. Thank you, Thay.
Okay, so this is important. And in this sutra, I will quickly go through this one more time. So this sutra it's about, in this sutra, the Buddha teaches us about about the whole cosmos, the cosmology, right? All phenomenon come from all the creation of the universe, include the living being, come from our mind, not come from other. This is important. For example, how do we know that it comes from our mind? Very easy nowadays. You can see it right away. For example, before we don't have anything, right? We don't know anything about electricity, right? We that means Edison Thomson, he the one who invented that. He discovered that. Then we be able to create and invent many things, right? Many good things. That means those things invent from us, from our mind. I don't know you learn about this yet, but I teach to William many times already. But this will be also the good thing, so you can learn. Can you see the note part I have?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Okay. In Buddhism, everything create from the mind. And what is everything create from the mind? It will divide into, it will categorize into 7 property. Okay, the 7 property. I think it's William, you remember?
The 7 properties of is this, yeah, what creates everything? Like,
Yeah.
okay, so there's it's the elements, right? So water, water, fire, earth, air, empty space,
Earth,
and
water, fire, and wind, right?
yeah,
Wind or air, and space.
yeah, space, and then mind,
No, we call view.
view. Okay.
And the last one we call consciousness.
Oh, yes.
Okay. These 4 elements here, it will create the form, that means the body, right? Let's say all the phenomenon in this world, include the human, include the animal, will create by the 4 things. That means it's the first 5 things, right? When you plant the seed on the ground, you need to, admin on the earth, right? You need to water it, and it will need the sunlight. Sunlight, that means the fire. And you need the wind, the air, right? If only these 4 without the space, that means if we don't have the gap for anything to be able to drift, then nothing will be established, nothing will grow. Does it make sense? Thank you.
Can you repeat that, Thầy? If we
Okay.
did not,
You will read that everything is the plant, the tree, the mountain, even the human body, even the animal body here, it will come from the earth, the water, the fire, and the wind. I take example, I give you example of the plant. When you plant the apple seed, right, on the ground, you need, that means on the earth, you need to water it. Once you water it, it will need the sunlight, right? That means the fire. It will need the air, that means the wind. They need the gap, the space to roll, to riff. Does it make sense so far?
yes, that does
Okay.
make sense.
This is important. And you, basically you also remember the periodic table.
Yes, of elements.
Yeah, the chemical element.
Yes, yes.
Right now, the scientists be able to discover 118 elements. This is we call the natural resource, right? I think if I use the term correctly, the natural resource, the natural element.
Oh, yes.
All this element here, we combine certain element together, we create a chemical formula. To create a product. For example, if you want to have a sugar, right? We will have a sugar company that will combine certain elements in there, and they have a sugar formula, right? It will create sugar for us. We want to have salt, that means sodium chloride. That is the formula for the salt that we are using. If we want to have the laundry detergent, the company that work for to produce this thing, it will have a formula, the chemical formula to produce that thing for us. So far so good, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. These 5 elements right here, 5 properties right here, it will create the periodic table. That means create the natural element. The view, that means the human knowledge. it will create the chemical formula and produce the product come from the human product knowledge. View, that means the human knowledge. So far so good, I guess. I want to go slowly so you can understand.
Yes, Thầy.
Very important. And even the weapon we pray come from those elements as well, and many other. So without the human knowledge, nothing will be there. This is important. Now, in order for us to create the human body or the animal to create their own body, for the hungry ghost to create their own body, for the hell or for the heaven, that means God to create their own body, this is what we call the power of the karma. And the body we usually call 5 skandha or 5 aggregate. Do you know this one? Can you? It means form, feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness. We need to understand this basic in order to understand this profound sutra. You remember this one, don't you? Yeah.
Yes, I recognize it, but I don't remember it by heart.
Okay. Form is the first one. It means the physical body. Come from the first 4 elements. Why it say earth? That means when you eat plant, right? That means plant come from this 4 element here. It will become our human part, right? Okay. Feeling, that means feeling, perception, that means the thinking, mental formation, and the consciousness. It represents the mental. Mental will be this 4 right here. The mental formation, this thing right here, I will quickly explain for you. This is a lot of people have a difficult to understand, even myself in the past, because not many people explain clear about this thing. But once you understand this thing, you will understand the emotion, the psychology of the mind. It's very important. The mental formation, that means it's okay, let me quickly here. I don't okay, give me 1 second. I will quickly using this one right here so you understand. Okay, this one right here, you see that all these 8 consonants that all we have in Buddhism. This is how the mind works. The first 5 sense, that means we call the first 5 consonants, the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, and the body. It's controlled by the mind. Consciousness, that means the brain. Okay, we will come to that after that. The mana consciousness is the one, it's attached to the cell, but this one cell come from where? Come from the alaya consciousness. Okay, because the alaya consciousness is the storehouse consciousness. It stores the knowledge, the experience, the karma. That means all the good deeds and the bad deeds we pray in the past up to now. it becomes the power of the karma. It's very powerful. For example, if someone says something trigger our anger, right? Then that means in here, that means from outside, right? Our eye contact that person, our ear contact that person voice, right? That means we hear that one. It will trigger the mind, right? The mind to distinguish the voice and those things. And if whoa, because the eye when we see, the ear when we hear, the eye itself or the ear itself cannot be able to distinguish about the seeing and the hearing, but the mind does. That's important. So when the mind be able to distinguish, that means it will trigger the emotion. That means the mana consonant. That means it will take the information from here, from the mind consonant. That means in the mind consonant, that means we have the brain and the memory. The data we take in, it will load it into the memory, and this one will wrap the data into here. And this data right now, at this moment, they carry the information of the emotion. It will trigger the emotion. The mana consonant, they have another name I forgot to put in here. They call it affliction, emotional affliction. They call it emotional affliction. So when this information read it in, it will pass to the alaya consonant. And when we have emotion, that means they will have a lot of query about the information they take in. Alaya consonant will base on that query, and they will perform the search to get all the data related to it. That means we do, even though right now we don't have any anger, doesn't mean that we don't have the anger sheet in the alaya consonant. We do. So it will wrap all the anger sheet right in here. Maybe at this time, that the data in here we call the subconsciousness. We don't see it. That means they will pull the data and they pass to the mana consonant, become more emotional, because the data they pass back contain all the seed of anger. And when this one pass over here, right, become they will manifest, right? Manifest, I mean you bring the data from here to make it appear in this state, become the mental formation. That means anger. Anger is the emotion, but also it's the mental formation. Does it make sense so far?
Yes, it does. So it seems like, let's say, emotion, your anger, not only does it appear in the mind consciousness, but it also is stored in the alaya consciousness.
Yes, if you don't have it here, they will not appear here.
Yes.
Because there's nothing for them to manifest. So now, when we have the mental formation of anger in the mind consciousness, then at that moment you will see, you can feel on your face, it's hot, right? You feel the heat on the very hot on your face, and your body is shaking, and you holding the fist together. This is called the physical formation of anger. Therefore, it's very important. We need to develop the love and kindness. What kind of mental formation do we have? We have the good one, we have the bad one. Good one is love and kindness is the mental formation. The good mental formation, compassion, and also the good one is joyful for order. That is the good one. And the bad one is the bad mental formation is jealousy, anger, hatred. So those things is the bad one, and this is the good one. So it comes from the mana consonant. So I hope that gives you the briefly overall. Right? Let me move on to here. Now, imagine during the whole life we do good and bad. We not always do good things, but we not always do bad things, so we miss, right? This will become the power of the consonant. When we die, the power of the consonant will control us most of the time. That is the nightmare. That is the most scary part about. Okay. So there are two criteria that control our rebirth destination. That means the current state of Arya consciousness and the power of karma in the Arya consciousness. Okay, but usually we will be controlled by this thing, not the current state of. Most of the time, our current state of Arya consciousness in the confusion mode. When we are near that, because most of the people scared at that. Does it make sense to you, Thang Yu?
Yes, it does, Thầy. But it seems a little bit superficial.
Oh, okay. Now, you add that, I will make it for you, because last time we talked about this, related to this one. Okay. Right now, the thing we see, the thing we hear, the thing we smell, the thing we touch, the thing we taste, the brain bốn giờ 15 anh ghé đây ha. Ok. Okay. So it's controlled by the brain, right? Based on the medical view. Okay. And let's say that when you have the toothache, you go to the dentist, and the dentist, first thing they do is they will numb the gum, the nearby the teeth that they working on. So when they do the numb, then when they working on the tooth, with the patient do not feel any pain, not much. Why? Because the whole idea of the numbness or the painkiller medication is to prevent the brain send the signal to the part of the body. Therefore, the pain is not come from the tooth, but the pain come from the mind. Does it make sense to you, I hope?
Yes.
Because you are the dentist, you know, right? You numb them and they don't feel pain. Why? It's so magic. Because it come from the mind, not come from the tooth. If the tooth by itself, it will be painful. And because the central nervous system is, we have two parts. It's the brain and the spinal cord. The brain, that means all the nerve control to connect to the brain, and also all the nerve run along to the spinal cord, and it will connect to entire body, right? Though the brain will control what? They will control our feeling, our sense, our sensation, our movement, our seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, everything relate to the body activity, the brain do all the control. So let's say that if someone they collapse, right? And after they woke up from the coma, and you know what? Some part of the body is paralyzed. Why was that? Because the nerve connect from the brain to those part of the body is damaged. When we raise our hand or our arm, not the arm say that I want to raise my arm or hand, but the mind is the one doing that. Right, William? I hope I say correctly. I cannot hear you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that is the medical view, right? Okay.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, they get into a lot of detail about like what order neurons fire and from what centers in the brain. But ultimately it's like, well, we can't say what initiates it in the first place. Like the initial firing, like, yeah, why? What's the thing that decides it wants to raise its arm?
So you know the Alam Watts, right? He was a Tibetan monk in the past. He American, the white American, and he very good in Buddhism, excellent in Buddhism, and there were some scientists like one of the very prominent physicists. He's the professor of physics in Caltech in California. Caltech is one of the famous, very famous school in this country about technology, all this thing. Anyway, and they are trying to argue or debate about the brain and the consciousness. Do they separate or do they have one? What do you think?
Well, the brain without consciousness is useless. So the brain, I think, it only arises and develops in relationship with the consciousness. So if we were going to call one primary, I'd say we'd call consciousness primary and the brain would be secondary.
Okay, you can say that. All right. You also I use the example many times. You see electricity is everywhere, right? But can we see the electricity from our eye? No, we cannot see it. But we can see it through the electronic part, right? The light bulb, computer, the TV, whatever, using the electricity, we do see it. They do have electricity. Let's say the light bulb, when the light bulb is broken, do you think electricity is still there? Yes, it's still there. Regardless the light bulb working or not working, electricity always there. The same thing. The Aliyah consonant is similar to electricity in this example. The light bulb or whatever, the electronic part, computer or whatever, is similar to our brain and our body. Nothing else. No, that makes sense to you, Thang Như, I hope.
Yes, I'm trying to understand that part.
Which one you not quite understand yet?
I think I have to think about it again. What I'm trying to do is trying to see if one can function without the other and which one can and which one cannot.
You say that can the brain work without the consonant? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is I'm trying to see if which one can at which situations become primary. versus and does it pertain all the time?
Actually, we should not use the term primary or secondary. That is still not correct. You look at the robot, right? The robot, they have the head, they have the arm, the feet. But can the robot function? Can they walk? Can they move by itself? No, robot cannot do that. It's just a piece of metal. But how come they be able to walk, to function just like the human? Well, we program inside the chip, and we insert the chip into the head of the robot, and the robot become function just like the human. What happened is when we take out the chip, right? The robot is just like the piece of metal, nothing else. So the Alaya consonant is just like the chip. If we take that Alaya consonant out, the body becomes useless. So when a person died, right, passed away, what the doctor based on to say that this person is dead, they based on the brain activity. They don't base on the heartbeat, but they base on the brain activity. Because heartbeat also controlled by the brain. So if no activity from the brain, they say this person already died, already dead. So that is the medical view. But what about the Buddhist view? Is this person really died right away? No, this person not yet died. How do we know? Another part that the science nowadays, more than 100 years ago, science do not understand the term consciousness yet. They thought everything is from outside, from external, it's influence internal. But now they have a different view. They say that everything is affected by the consciousness. Then the term consciousness become more used in the science. And you know what? I don't know when that happened. There are many doctors, different type of doctors, and psychiatrists, and psychologists, pharmacists, and dentists, and all kind of medical professionals. They group together and they make appointment with Dalai Lama in India, and they have the interview for 4 days straight. Why they doing that? They need to understand the consciousness. What is the concept? That's what they want to find out. Is that for the religious purpose? No, they are not there for the religious purpose. They are there for their own benefit. They want to see that the consciousness, what we call in Buddhism, it really have something can help them to help the patient. That is their goal. But that's good enough, right? At least they recognize beside the brain, we do have consciousness. In the old day, usually the psychology or psychiatrists, the psychology, they focus on the behavior of the patient to determine the sickness of this patient. But they do not know much about the consciousness. Until recently, they have they understand it through the CBT. It means the cognitive behavior therapy. This is what they call everything, all the sickness come from the mind, come from here, not come from outside. If we fix this thing, then sickness will go away. That means usually the one who have emotional breakdown, right? They always have the negative thinking. When we help them, whenever they have a negative thinking come up, we will help them to reframe, to convert the negative into positive. And it will become the good habit. Eventually, they will fix their own problem, the mind problem. Because I teach the depression to the kid as well the adult. But I don't have the license for the psychology. But I do understand they have, in the CBT, they be able to recognize at least 15 or 16 different types of the cognitive distortion. And when I take the depression beside the root cause of the depression and the symptom, I also help them to learn the CBT through more than 15 different cognitive distortion. So for each example, for each type of cognitive distortion, I give them a list of examples, help them to convert every single negative thinking into positive. This is important. So now go back to our current learning. So we understand that beside the brain, we do have another thing. In science, they call consciousness, but they don't know what is consciousness really mean. But in Buddhism, we do. Science still very new to this, but the Buddha taught us this thing more than 2,500 years ago. So the Buddha wisdom is way, way beyond science. But it's good for the science to be advanced. So the Buddha teaching, the profound teaching of the Buddha become revealed. That is the good news. So nothing wrong with that. Thằng Như, I hope.
In a state of where the brain is not fully functional, can you still have a functional consciousness?
That's correct. It's like when we have the old car, right? When the car, for many years, it become old and become breakdown. Even though you use the good, the good gasoline, it doesn't work. Or let's say the robot, right? The robot, for a while, the metal become no longer working. But the chip in the robot is still good. But can the robot be able to function even though the commander come from the chip, say that I want your hand to move? No, the hand cannot move. The feet cannot move because the part is broken. It's old. It's no longer used. The same thing, our brain, our body, when we get too old, all this thing here no longer work. And the consonant always in the good health. There's nothing wrong with the consonant at all time. The only thing is what content we have in the consonant is important. That's what we call the power of the karma. That's what it controls us. So if the body is no longer work, the consonant cannot use that body. That's why we call dead body. Does it make sense to you? Thank you, I guess.
Yes, I'm trying to understand it more and more.
Okay, that's good. So When we're still alive, we can be able to see, to hear, to smell. We can be able to distinguish all the first 5 senses. Did that come from the brain? No, it's not come from the brain. But it comes from the alaya consciousness. But in the common people term, we call the brain. Because that's what we know. They don't know about the alaya consciousness. If they have not learned yet, they have no idea what is alaya consciousness. But that's okay. Even the Theravada Buddhism tradition, they do not know the mana consciousness and the alaya consciousness, which is the most important consciousness about. Therefore, in the Theravada tradition, it's huge different. When a person passes away, they will rebirth right away because there is nothing for them. They call the border state. There is no border state for them. Why would that? Well, there is no alaya consciousness for carry over. So then what is carry over? They are still not clear. Doesn't matter what they try to use, it will not be the complete one. You can, many different religions use many different terms similar to each other. It doesn't mean that they understand that. All the religions, they can use the nirvana, arahat, but they don't really understand those in the real state. They know the term, but doesn't mean they understand it. So anyway, if the one who died and reborn right away based on the Theravada tradition, this will not comply with the law of cause and effect in Buddhism. Nothing goes right away, no, because attachment it not let you go right away. The more attached, the more delay. That's why when a person dies, right, the alaya consciousness be able to hear, to see, to taste, to smell, to touch, just like when they alive. Because why? Because when they are alive, alaya consciousness is the one who doing that, not the brain. But using the body so we can see it. But with our body, they still have the same function anyway. Just like the electricity, they have all kind of features ready. If you want to use the light bulb, you plug in the light bulb, it works. You want to use for the computer, plug in, it works for the computer. But when you unplug that thing, the electricity is still electricity, nothing else. They don't change to different things. No, they don't. So that's why in the Surama Sutra, the Buddha say that the nature of hearing, the nature of seeing is still there. Even you hear the bell, it hit, or you don't hear the bell at all. The nature of seeing or hearing always arrive, always there, always present, regardless. This is important. You don't see it, doesn't mean it's not there. But at least we see it through the physical body. And now the physical body is gone. We can use that to derive from it so we can understand it. Just like in mathematics, right? They have the induction proof and the deduction proof. Induction proof, that means it's, in order for the mathematics, they come up with the formula, right? They have to do a lot of experiment. step by step from 1 to K or N step. If they have the result come out consistently for the N step, this is called the inductive reasoning. Okay, they assume the N plus 1 step will be also the same. Does it make sense? That's how the science always do. They cannot know everything, but they can do a lot of experiment, and based on the set of experiment, they will predict the next one. Right now, we can, based on the physical body, to understand, based on the medical view, right? Medical view, we understand how the mind works. And we can use that and to see further into the Buddhist view about the mind work. I hope I don't confuse you, Thang Như.
That part about the math, I don't have a math background, so I didn't understand that part. But it's okay.
But William, you understand the math, right?
Yeah.
The gist of what you said was, even though the scientists don't know it, they make deductions from previous experiments. So you learn the patterns and you make intellectual deductions.
Right, that's correct. Oh, so they call the inductive reasoning. That means they will perform the number of step, right? The number of step, and each step they come out consistent result. So let's say that the step, the last one we call the N. The letter N, it represents that is the last one. And the letter N we call the variable. The variable, that means it could be any number of steps. Let's say that they are very consistent and very satisfied with whatever, and they assume the step N plus 1 will be same. That is the mathematics always do. They cannot know everything because they don't have that power. Even Buddha cannot do that too. Buddha can see everything, know everything, but the infinity, Buddha cannot see through the infinity. It also have the certain limit. Okay, for that is for the mathematics. So the great mathematics also come to the certain testing, and they have to assume the next step. Okay, anyway, I think it's oh wow, today we haven't done anything about the other one. Okay, but I hope I give you enough but today for William, it's good for you to review.
Yeah.
So when we die, right? It will take time for the Alaya consciousness to leave the body. Sometimes it in Tibetan tradition, they say that it takes about 36 hours for the Alaya consciousness to leave the body. But usually it depends on the person that when they're still alive, if they have a lot of attachment, that means they will not leave right away. It will take time for them to leave. But eventually they have to leave. They cannot stay in the body because the body is no longer used. It's no good. They have no place for them to stay in the body. So they have to leave. So in this country, we say that 8 hours should be reasonable because that is the medical can allow us to do so. Then and the good thing is we can use that time to recite the Buddha name because the Alaya consciousness, they have all the sense that they have in the past. They can see us, they can hear, they can So whatever we say to them, they be able to understand. Because it read our consciousness. The language they are speaking, not English, not Vietnamese, but consciousness. That is their language. Just like in the hospital, right? You see the device attached to the brain. You see the brain wave. It show up. That is the language of the consciousness. When we say something, it would generate the consciousness. When we see and when we have certain activity in the brain, that generate the consciousness. So the one who passed away, the only language they speak is consciousness. Doesn't mean that means they can understand every language in the human. Language is no barrier for them. So that is good news. In the past, they cannot speak English, so they cannot understand you. But now they can understand you, see your mind. They can read your mind. They can understand you. Okay. So any question before we stop? You have a question?
No, Thầy, I don't. Thank you.
Okay, all right, we can stop now. The consonant only is one of the most difficult subjects in Buddhism, but that is one of the most profound teaching in Buddhism. When we understand this, we not only understand in the level of the mind consciousness, but we understand the cosmology as well. Okay, anyway. Okay, go ahead, William.
May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may their minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light break the darkness of their endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise.
Good, thank you. I'll see you next week. Okay.
And I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow, that's right.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
one.
Thầy.
Thank you, Tay.
Yeah, you'll be able to join us tomorrow, don't you?
I'm not sure. I have to see because there are things that I have to do as well. So
Okay, that's okay.
yes, thank you, Thầy.
Yeah, bye.
But what I will try to do is if I can't join on Saturday, then I will join on Sunday. So
Oh, that's
next
good.
Saturday I won't be able to join, so I will try to join on Sunday.
Okay, good.
Thank you so much, Thầy.
Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.